My name is Jadischke, and this is my God story. So I grew up in a family of 6. I've lived in Hilliard my entire life, and I can honestly say that there was never a time when I wasn't going to church. Church was a very normal thing and always a very big part of my life. So I accepted Christ at an early age and tried to follow him as best as I could throughout the years. One time that really stands out to me the most in testing my faith was definitely my senior year of high school. And that was because right at the end of my junior year, my brother Ryan was diagnosed with autism. That November, my other brother Toby was diagnosed with Rolandic epilepsy, and that January I was diagnosed with a primary brain tumor. And the tumor was pretty big. It was a slow grower, and they thought it had been there for years. And so 5 days after they found it, I was admitted for surgery to perform a complete resection. Praise God, it was non-cancerous, and they were able to pull it all out in the one surgery. As soon as I came down from the heavy narcotics, I found myself laying in a bed, really not able to walk. And that was because the tumor was in my cerebellum, which controls all the body's balance and coordination. So I couldn't really stand up or do anything on my own. They had to belt me in order to take me anywhere. And recovery was long and it was hard. I put in a lot of work to it and invested so much time into just getting back to where I thought I had started, and I don't think I ever reached that point. But one thing in particular about my tumor is that it has a chance of recurrence. The neurosurgeon who popped it out actually performed studies on it and found that it's got a 5% chance of recurrence, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you understand that it's like 1 in 50,000 chance that I would have gotten it in the first place, fear can really take over, and that happened to me a lot. I was terrified that I was going to end up with this tumor again, and the surgery would take away another 4 or 6 months of my life, or I could die from it, because that's always a possibility with these major surgeries. And I kind of let that fear consume me for a long time. And so my first yearly MRI to go check up for it, that entire month before it was just awful, because I was just living in that fear every single day, waking up, and it's pretty much all I could think about. And it was hard, because you're just looking to God and you're like, all of these things are happening in my life, like, how can this be good? And so kind of reading the Bible, just after that point, I hit Romans 8:28, which is, we know all things work together for the good of those who love God, for those who are called according to his purpose. And, reading that at first, it's like, oh, like, good, so everything must be good for those who like God, and can't really read it backwards. And oftentimes we do that so much to the point of where when anything bad happens, we just cry out to God and are like, how can this possibly be your plan if you are good and you promise these things for our good? But reading it a little closer, it says that everything works together for the good of those who love God. That everything includes the good things, the bad things, includes good things in brain tumors and autism and epilepsy. And at that point, it kind of knew that I just needed to give it to God, to start trusting God. And I can't say that that has been a easy process. That has been very difficult. And it's 3 years since that surgery, and I can say that I am still working on it. If I could really say just one thing to a person who's going through something like this or anything similar, it's that don't be looking for this syllogistic reason of why God is trying to do this in your life, because I've been waiting for that for 3 years and I still haven't found it. The best thing to know is that there is a plan. We can read the Bible, Romans 8:28. There is a plan. There has to be, and you have to trust God. And it's not always easy, but it's more of a matter of just giving it to Him, because ultimately I can't control any of it. I can't control that I'm grew a brain tumor. I can't control how my recovery is going to go other than just doing my exercises. It's just a matter of you got to trust that God knows what he's doing, and that plan is going to work out for the good of those who love him.